All right, welcome to another edition of the Bo Jackson Elite Commitment Spotlight. We're here with Tommy Skelding of Marlington High School, right-handed pitcher, potentially shortstop in the 2023 graduating class. How you doing, Tommy?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Yeah, excited to chat about your recent commitment to the University of Kentucky SEC program, and very excited for you and pumped to hear your journey and all the details. So why don't we just dive right in? Talk to us a little bit about your background in baseball, and did you grow up playing multiple sports, or was it just baseball all along?
I grew up playing multiple sports. I started playing baseball when I was 4. I saw my 2 older cousins playing, and I just loved watching them. And ever since I started playing, I just fell in love with the game and just strived to be the best player I could be ever since.
That's cool. Yeah, they had no idea the impact they were probably having on you as cousins. And what age would you say, when it came to baseball, did you realize, hey, we're on to something pretty special here in terms of your love for the game and your abilities? Do you remember what age that was?
It was around a couple years ago when I started getting noticed by PBR, started getting invited to events, and then I knew that I had a shot at going to college.
Yeah, that's awesome. Talk a little bit about, your family. You mentioned your cousins, but, do you have siblings, and are they athletes as well?
Yes, I have 2 older sisters. One was a cheerleader and one's a soccer player. They did play softball when they're younger, so I watched them too.
Very cool. Yeah, talk a little bit about your parents. I'm sure that, they're thrilled to see your commitment, and what was that experience like, and what was their support like through this process?
Oh yeah, they were very excited. They supported me a lot. They took me to all my games and practices and got me on my lessons and taught me a lot when I was younger. And they pushed me to get to this point because they knew it's what I wanted to do as well. And they've been very supportive along the way.
That's awesome. Yeah, yeah. So talk a little bit about, the role they played, and as you're navigating, decisions and places you're looking into, what kinds of conversations did they probe some ideas on what to look for in a college and in a program and things like that?
The main thing was comfortability and academics. So we knew, when it came down to it, we knew which one I felt more comfortable with and do they have what I'm looking to study. Those are the main 2 things that we're looking for.
Very cool. Yeah. What are you wanting to study?
I was thinking engineering or business.
Nice. Yeah, two good fields there for sure. Let's kind of switch gears a little bit to pitching. You've risen quickly and have some tremendous potential and abilities. And who was instrumental in as a youth athlete and into being a teenager with your pitching development, and talk to us a little bit about that.
My pitching coach, Mike Grady, he's helped me a lot this past year. He's really taught me how to use my body and the mechanics of it, and mainly just gaining weight too helped a lot. Or this past year, my dad too, long tossing with me in the front yard helped a lot too with building up my arm strength.
That's awesome. Yeah, go into that a little bit more. You mentioned long toss, and I looked it up before, and I knew you were a flamethrower for your age, and I looked it up, and you've been up to 87, and you haven't played a high school baseball game yet, right? With freshman year with COVID, and so that's pretty impressive. Have you always been a hard thrower, or is that something that kind of came on recently?
I've always been a hard thrower, but last year is when I really made my jump because I was up to 83 last year, and before that I was kind of average, a little bit above, and then that last year I started to put in more work, and then that's when the velo started to jump up a lot.
That's awesome. So when you say you put in a little bit more work, walk us through what that looks like. What is a day in the life of you when you're training and throughout the winter and the off season, and if you can give us a window into what a SEC commit lifestyle looks like, what would that be?
Right now I'm waking up and make sure I get a good breakfast to start my day, and then usually I will do some bands of my plyo balls, and then I'll eat lunch, and then I'll go lift. And then afterwards, if it's one of the days I'll go long toss or throw a bullpen. And then usually after that, I just do my recovery and then relax.
That's awesome. So, you know, you mentioned a lot of stuff that, does it get mundane? And talk to us a little bit about training and have you found a love for training and a love for all the things you just listed, or is it just kind of, I got to grit my teeth through this on a daily basis? What's that like?
My dad's talked to me a lot about that. He always tells me find the motivation to make you want to do it, which has helped me a lot. And that's really is what like helped me with it, so it doesn't get like boring those days, so I can have fun and I fell in love with the process doing that.
Yeah, I love hearing that line of fall in love with the process, and it's kind of a concept that's floating around out there, but you can really see a tangible difference when people are in love with the process, or they're just kind of, they like the tagline. So that's amazing. So talk to us about your development. What's the next project for you? I mean, you've got a lot of runway in front of your career here in high school, and what are you working on this off season to prepare for next spring?
Perfecting my slider, or like trying to get it better. This off season, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to increase my fastball velo as well to make my off speed more deceptible, and trying to like tunnel my pitches better this off season.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's good stuff. So let's switch gears a little bit. To your Bo Jackson Elite team this last summer. You were with the 2023s and Coach Onati's team, and there's a lot of guys on that team that have a lot of potential. And I think you were the first of 3 here in the last week and maybe 10 days or so who committed. And just talk to us a little bit about last summer and what that experience was like being on that team.
It was an amazing experience with everybody on the team. Everybody's so talented, and the thing I liked about it most was everybody had a team first mentality and nobody was about themselves, which really, I believe, helped us win a lot of games. And everybody, you can learn from everybody, because if you did something wrong, they pick you up and tell you how you could do better. And Coach Onati, he was a very good coach this year, and I couldn't have asked for a better coach from him. And he just helped me develop as a person and a player, and really helped me with the recruiting process as well.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. It definitely is rare and a pretty special situation. Just seeing the camaraderie that you guys have, and kind of goes a little against the grain of a typical, summer ball situation. So it was cool to see. That's incredible. So let's switch gears a little bit to just your college recruitment process, and we'll get into Kentucky and all that. But, would you say that pre-COVID, or when did really things kind of heat up for you from a recruiting standpoint? Was it January, or was it in summer, or what that look like?
And mainly started to heat up the first 2 weekends this summer. With Bo Jackson, we played in 2 PBR tournaments to start off the year. And PBR and Bo Jackson both tweeted out videos of me pitching. And some colleges noticed that and set up calls. And we started talking. I was a little overwhelmed at first. But Coach Onati really helped me with, like, what to ask, how to approach, and, like, the research and all of that. He really helped me with that and throughout the whole process, and he helped me get to where I am at today.
Yeah, that's incredible. So, let's walk through kind of, you mentioned a couple outings where maybe things started to get eye-popping, and was it overwhelming out of the gate? And what was that experience like, having that kind of attention and being put on the spot with phone calls and things like that? What was that like?
I was talking to Coach Onati about this. Really, he said that you can't really look at it as pressure. He goes, because if you look at it that way, that's how every single outing is going to be. You just got to look at it as you have it, and you just got to go with it and do your best and help the team.
That's awesome. Yeah, so let's discuss a little bit who was the first member of the Kentucky coaching staff that you chatted with, and who did you really hit it off with early on?
Coach Coggin. I talked to him the first few times, and I just loved my conversation with him and felt very comfortable.
That's awesome. Yeah, so talk a little bit about, Coach Mingione. He took over at Kentucky and had an amazing turnaround in the first few years there, and their trajectory is continuing, to move forward. What excites you most about playing for him there and being part of that program?
Just their culture they have there. They have a very family culture there and a winning culture. They talk to me about a lot, which I wanted to be a part of myself. and also the whole experience you get at Kentucky as well with playing in the SEC against all those great schools, and other sporting teams they have there as well are good too, which I feel like it'd be fun to go watch those games as well.
Yeah, are you a basketball fan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so Rupp Arena is going to be a fun experience for sure. I'm sure. So that's awesome. Yeah. So let's switch gears a little bit. You know, you've gotten your commitment out of the way, and talk to us a little bit. There's a lot of people that feel like the recruiting process is getting earlier and earlier. You know, I even saw the other day that there was an 8th grader who committed to a Power 5 program, and you know, did you feel, obviously your abilities put you in a bracket of you know, interest from programs. Did you feel rushed at all, or did it feel just kind of this is I'm comfortable with it?
I didn't feel rushed. I felt comfortable. After talking with my family, we really just felt like it was the right time and everything. We wanted to see the school, and I felt comfortable there and loved everything I saw. And I just knew it was the place for me right when I walked on campus.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's beautiful down there. And so, how far of a drive is that for you?
5.5 hours.
5.5. So yeah, that's the closest SEC program, if I understand correctly, right? So that's awesome. So do you feel like a sense of relief, or you know, what's the experience like that you've gotten that out of the way, and you know, what are you feeling now?
I'm a little relieved, like get the stress off of like trying to figure out which school was the best one for me. But also I know that this is where it starts, and I got to start working even harder now.
That's awesome, man. That's a big time perspective there, and you know, a lot of people view the recruiting process, you know, the destination is committing to your school, but the guys who have the most success beyond, I think, just view that as the beginning. And you know, you mentioned that there, and I think that's incredible. So, what you know, what advice would you give to someone else coming down the road? You know, I know Marlington High School has had some good players come out of there. Zach DeZenzo at Ohio State. You know, you're joining a line of players, and I'm sure there's more coming behind you, and there's certainly more coming behind you in the Bo Jackson Elite organization. So, if you could speak to let's just say a 7th grader right now who's about ready to begin this process here soon, you know, what kind of advice would you give them?
That everybody's on their own timeline, and just because somebody is getting more attention now doesn't mean that you're not going to get that attention later. So just keep on working and just like do your best when you're on the field and just have fun.
That's awesome, man. That's really good stuff for sure. So, well, hey, man, we're so pumped for you, and you know, excited for what's ahead. It's a big deal to get that commitment out of the way, and you're joining a very successful SEC program, and you hit the nail on the head. And I know you've got good voices in your ear, you know, with your family, it sounds like, and Coach Onati, and you know that the work is just getting started, right? And there's some fun stuff ahead, but congratulations to you, and we're very excited for you, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, thank you. See you soon.